Gang banging, yeah. And I'm dangerous, yeah. Smith and Wesson, yeah. And it's stainless, yeah. Brand new Rari, yeah. I'm finna paint it, yeah. She took a Xanax, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome everyone to the Nassau Coliseum here in Uniondale, New York, for the official weigh-in for tomorrow night's incredible night of boxing that'll be taking place and be televised live on HBO. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing USA and Salida Promotions, and it is sponsored by JD Sport. There are tickets still available at Ticketmaster.com and NYCBLive.com, and we're going to go ahead and start with our undercard right now. Bringing up to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 6-round super welterweight contest. We've got a gentleman fighting out of Passaic, New Jersey, by way of Camagüey, Cuba. Please welcome George El Terrible Sosa to the stage. His opponent coming to the stage, fighting out of Plainview, New York, right here. He's the former IBA Americas and USBO welterweight champ, Tommy the Razor Rainone. Let's welcome him up to the stage also. Six-round super welterweights. Now stepping onto the scales, ladies and gentlemen, El Terrible, George Sosa, 15-10, all 15 wins by way of knockout. $153.8. 153.8 for George Sosa. And his opponent right now making his way to the scale, 26-8-1, 6 knockouts, the Razor, Tommy Rainone. 153 dead, 153 even for Tommy Rainone. Tomorrow night, 6-round super welterweights. We'll now face off the fighters. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Rainone and George Sosa. Again, doors tomorrow 6 p.m., first bout 6:30. It's going to be an incredible night of action from top to bottom. And we go ahead and keep it going as we bring up our next bout. 6 rounds in the lightweight division. We've got a gentleman fighting out of Lawrence, Massachusetts. He goes by the nickname Ruthless. Please welcome Augustin Mauras. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a welterweight contest we're going to go ahead and bring up right now. We've got Connor Ben and Brandon Sanudo introducing first. Gentlemen fighting out of San Felipe, Baja California, Mexico. Please welcome Brando Bam Sanudo. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Ilford, London in Essex. He is undefeated. The exciting welterweight prospect, the son of the former world champion Nigel Benn. Please welcome the destroyer, Conor Benn. Now coming to the scales, ladies and gentlemen, Brando Bam Sanudo, 7-6, 4 knockouts. $148.4. $148.4 for Brando Bam Sanudo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the scales the undefeated Conor the Destroyer Benn. 147.8 for Conor Benn. 147.8, 6 rounds welterweights. And we're now going to face off the fighters. Conor Benn and Brando Sanudo. Six rounds welterweights tomorrow night. Conor Benn and Brando Sanudo. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a welterweight affair, 6 rounds. Introducing first to the stage, please welcome the Hudson Valley Kid, Daniel Sostre. Originally from Vega, Baja, Puerto Rico, and he's now living and fighting out of Highland, New York. And his opponent, the undefeated fighter out of Elmont, New York, the Jackpot, Tyrone Pretty Boy James, making his way up to the dais. Six rounds welterweights tomorrow night. This will be contested at a catch weight of 150 pounds. Introducing first to the scales, please welcome the Hudson Valley Kid, Daniel Sostre. 13-14, 5 knockouts. 144.4. 144.4 for Daniel Sostre. And his opponent making his way to the scales, the gentleman from Elmont, New York, the undefeated, the Jackpot, Tyrone Pretty Boy James. 149.6 for Tyrone James. 149.6. We're now going to face off the fighters. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to turn the mic over to Hall of Fame ring announcer, my colleague, Mr. Michael Buffer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the official weigh-in for tomorrow night's big night of boxing here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, a legendary house of great sporting and entertainment events. And at this time, we'd like you all to meet and greet and weigh in the final 6 fighters. We will have the rest of the weigh-in after that, but the 6 fighters fighting in the 3 contests at the end of the night. And it's all brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing USA in association with Salida Promotions, and it will be presented live on HBO and live to the UK on Sky Sports. And it's all sponsored by JD Sports. So let's bring up the fighters for one of our featured contests. This will be a 10-round bout in the middleweight division. And we have 2 outstanding fighters. First up onto the stage, please welcome from Coahuila de Zaragoza, Mexico. His record, 35 victories, including 26 wins by knockout. Only 1 defeat with 2 draws. Ladies and gentlemen, Roberto Massa Ortiz. Let's bring his opponent up to the scales before we do the official weigh-in, so we have that team here too. And his opponent tomorrow night. All right, we'll do the weigh-in right now. Official weight? 141.2 for Ortiz. And now let's bring his opponent up to the scales. He's undefeated with a perfect record. He comes to us from Brooklyn, New York, USA. His record stands at 20 fights, 20 victories, 16 wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer Selden. 141.2. 141.2. Here they are, folks. Cletus Selden versus Roberto Ortiz. That will be a over-the-weight junior welterweight contest scheduled for 10 rounds. Just want to remind everybody that that contest we just had the weigh-in for will be presented by Golden Boy Promotions in association with Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing and Cancun Promotions. So next up onto the stage and onto the scales, we go to the big boys of boxing, the heavyweight division. 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division between 2 fighters we've all been waiting to see. First up onto the stage from Krakow, Poland, 33 victories, 17 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats. Mariusz, the Viking Vach. And please welcome to the stage his opponent, a perfect professional record consisting of 19 fights, 19 victories, 17 wins by knockout from Brooklyn, New York, Jarrell Big Baby Miller. First onto the scales will be Mariusz, the Viking Vach, 33 victories as a pro, 17 wins by knockout with only 2 defeats. 268 pounds for the 6'7", Mariusz, the Viking Vach. Next up onto the scales, he brings his perfect undefeated record to the ring tomorrow night. 19 fights, 19 victories, 17 wins by knockout from Brooklyn, New York, Jarrell Big Baby Miller. 283.4. This contest will be brought to you in association with Greg Cohen Promotions. Once again, 12 rounds in the heavyweight division. And when we say the big boys of boxing, It's very apropos for this contest. Here they are face to face, Marius Vach, Jarrell Miller. 12 rounds of boxing, live on HBO and Sky Sports. It's all in the heavyweight division. So now let's get the scales ready for the main event of the evening tomorrow night. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 12 rounds of boxing. This will be in the middleweight division. It's all brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing USA, along with Salida Promotions, and this contest presented in association with Rock Nation, and it's sponsored by JD Sports. New York State Athletic Commission conducting the official weigh-in. First up onto the stage and onto the scales, he brings a perfect record of 18 fights, 18 victories, 9 wins by KO. From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, he currently holds the USBA Middleweight Championship, the undefeated Luis Cuba Arias. And now on to the stage, the former WBA Middleweight World Champion, 32 victories, 29 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats. From Brooklyn, New York, USA, the Miracle Man, Daniel Jacobs. First onto the scales, the undefeated USBA middleweight champ, Luis Cuba Arias. 18 fights, 18 victories, 9 wins by knockout. 160 on the nose, the middleweight limit for Luis Arias. Next onto the scales, the man everyone recognizes as the #1 contender in the middleweight division. 32 wins, 29 wins by knockout. Former middleweight world champion, the Miracle Man, Daniel Jacobs. 159.6 for Daniel Jacobs, the Miracle Man from Brooklyn. Here they are face to face, our main event tomorrow night. 12 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division, the undefeated Luis Cuba Arias, the #1 middleweight contender in the world, former champ, Daniel Miracle Man Jacobs. They're talking now, there'll be no talk tomorrow, just leather. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue with the rest of the weigh-in for tomorrow night's big card of boxing. Top to bottom, it's a great card, and thank you for coming, members of the press. We got a few more weigh-ins to go. Let's turn it over to Diamond David Diamante.
Michael, thank you so much. As you see, it is a great card. We still have weigh-ins to go right now. This is 6 rounds in the welterweight division. As we please bring up Marquise the Hawk Hawthorne, fighting out of Waco, Texas. And his opponent, he's undefeated, fighting out of Rapkan, Uzbekistan, Shохжахон Эргашев, descendant of Tamerlan. 9-0, all 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He's a southpaw, fighting out of Uzbekistan. We need Marquise Hawthorne and Shохжахон Эргашев. Now making his way to the scales, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Hawk, Marquise Hawthorne. 5-7, 1 knockout, fighting out of Waco, Texas. He is now stepping to the scale. $143.4. 143.4 for Marquise Hawthorne. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, the undefeated Uzbek fighter from Rapkan, descendant of Tamerlan, Shохжахон Эргашев. $144.4. 144.4 for Shохжaхон Эргашев, descendant of Tamerlan. Fighting out of Rapkan, Uzbekistan. Going up against Marquise Hawthorne.
And will now face off the fighters. Six rounds welterweights tomorrow night. Doors at 6 p.m. First bout promptly at 6:30. Don't forget, tickets are still available. Go to Ticketmaster.com or ncblive.com.